Good evening. One of the most charming aspects of being on Twitter is the barrage of abuse and bile. And if you're a woman, the abuse magnifies into misogyny, even threats of rape and death. Since the 2014 general election, India has seen the rise of the right-wing trolls, the army of people who go on a vicious attack against anyone perceived to be anti-BJP and anti-Modi in particular. A sensational new book, I Am a Troll, by journalist Swati Chaturvedi claims that this trolling is organized and blessed by the ruling party. That's something the party has denied. A former member of the BJP's social media camp who spoke at length to Swati in the book claims that instructions were issued to an army of social media volunteers to go after anyone critical of the government, and even a hit list drawn up. Sadhvi Khosla claims that it was a never-ending drip feed of hate and bigotry against minorities, the Gandhi family, journalists on the hit list, liberals, anyone perceived as anti-Modi. She says the volunteers and employees were given a hit list of mainstream journalists who needed to be constantly attacked. Every day, some new person was a target, and they would attack like a swarm of bees with vile sexual innuendos, slander, rape and death threats. She says that an online campaign to pressurize Snapdeal to drop Amir Khan as brand ambassador after his comments on intolerance was also started by the BJP. She says that the head of the BJP's IT cell at the time, Arvind Gupta, messaged the BJP's social media volunteers directing them to endorse a petition to Snapdeal asking for Amir to be dropped from the ads, saying the poisonous campaign launched by the team proved Amir's point on intolerance. However, the trolling accusation has been denied strongly by the BJP senior leader Ram Madhav in the book, who says that the BJP encouraging trolls is totally rubbish. We ourselves have been victims of trolling. Ram Madhav says every hard criticism is not trolling. Someone attacking you in very strong words does not mean he's a troll. Well, joining us on the show tonight is the author Swati Chaturvedi. She's here in the studio with us. Also with us this evening is Rajneel Kamant. He's a BJP social media volunteer. He's a core member of a website, or a page rather, called I Support Narendra Modi. And they're very strong supporters of the Prime Minister and the BJP in particular. Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, also joining us, will be joined shortly by Rakesh Sinha of the RSS. So Rajneel, before I get to Swati, let me ask you, what Sadhvi Khosla, who says she's a former member of the BJP's IT cell of the social media team, she talks about how she volunteered for no money. You are also a volunteer like that. And how a hit list of journalists was provided of people who needed to be constantly attacked. She talks about the kind of abuse that was encouraged in the social media team against a certain list of people. How do you see this? I mean, is that what happens?
I think let me begin by saying that when you are online, being online offers a certain amount of anonymity, which means you can hide behind a veil and you can say a lot of things that you may not say when you have a face to it. This happens across all party lines. It doesn't happen only in India, it happens everywhere. I think it's wrong to just label one party's supporters as trolls, because there are trolls across party lines. The claims made by the person you're mentioning, I think I've never received a list like that. I've fairly been in the system for some time. It's all volunteer driven. A lot of them take initiative on their own. But it's never been party agenda or propaganda to go behind certain people. These are claims made in a book, and they're fantastic claims to have. But I don't think there's truth to it at all.
Okay, well, Swati, one of the things you said in your book, and you say it right on the back cover, is, the right-wing trolls who incite communal tension, abuse and sexually harass journalists, opposition politicians, anyone who questions them. Who are they? Why do they do what they do? And how are they organized? And you claim in your book, contrary to what Rajneel is saying, that they are organized and that they are controlled by the party.
Of course they are organized. Let's just look at Sadhvi, who we were talking about. She got a call from the CMO of Gujarat, Narendra Modi's office, to join the SM team. I think that's as direct as you can get. She organized Chai Pe Charcha. We've got pictures, you have seen pictures of her in the book with all the leading people of the BJP.
There are pictures of her also with people from an opposing party. So it just can't be
you're saying
BJP.
A picture doesn't necessarily mean anything.
A picture doesn't mean association. That's fine.
Has the BJP denied that the BJP is very much accepting that she was part of their SM team? So I mean, I don't know what you're trying to say. My point is different. My point is that this is not just Sadhvi Khosla. There is a bunch of people who are getting, BJP has a first mover advantage. They're just getting instructions to attack anybody with a contrary viewpoint. And I don't think that a ruling party in a democracy should be trolling citizens. Forget journalists, any citizen.
Well, we have Rakesh Sinha of the RSS as well, and I just want to mention here that the BJP declined to come on this program today. We did speak to a number of party spokespersons requesting them to come on the show, and they have all declined to speak on this, including the IT cell of the BJP. But Professor Sinha, I'm sure you would have seen the excerpts of the book, at least this morning in the Indian Express, in which Swati also claims that according to Sadhvi Khosla, who was a member of the BJP social media team, there were instructions also given to start this online petition against Amir Khan and put pressure on Snapdeal, for instance.
No, this is up to the party to comment upon. I can't comment upon on behalf of the BJP. But
as the mothership of the party,
as far I understand, that sometimes you use some instances in exaggerated way to create a sensation.
How can I exaggerate?
No, let me complete. Nidhi, you go to anyone's Twitter account who has some public standing, including common people like me, and you will find a lot of abusive words for me. Lot of abusive, but I don't come to complain that CPM is doing, Congress is doing, Rahul Gandhi's people are doing. Here I say, if you feel that someone is trolling you, someone is abusing you and giving a threat, there is a law. If you are not using the law, I use that law. I didn't go to lodge FIR. I have given threat that if you will not apologize within 48 hours, I am going to complain lodge the FIR.
No.
And I found lot of people withdraw.
Can I just interrupt you?
Let me complete. Lot of people have withdrawn. I consider social media as a massive participation and extension.
So you're making 2 points. You're saying trolling is across party lines, and you're saying that if someone has a grievance, they should go and take that to the law. Swati did that.
Just I have to complete.
She did that. She filed a police complaint.
No, I have to complete. Look, it is very easy to blame a political party or an ideology. It is very easy. Suppose
do you dissociate what Sadhvi Khosla has said?
I make 10 handles, and each handle is in the name of Rahul Gandhi, Sitaram Yechuri, Prakash Karat, and I do something so that they get defamed. Okay. So I think don't take social media's accounts on face value. You just go because I have seen because there is a saffron flag, so that man is RSS.
Okay,
so
Swati on that. Then I come to Sanjay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is ludicrous to me because I have filed 2 separate FIRs. The problem here is, Nidhi, that the US is the freest free speech laws in the world, but they arrest people every year. Hundreds of people are arrested for incitement, for death threats, for rape threats. I have faced all of those. I have actually lodged 2 FIRs. No action is taken because, now this is not something that I'm making up. Twitter cooperated with the police. They gave them the information because they're backed by the ruling party. So you have a culture of trolling which is encouraged and which is blessed by the ruling party. I just want to ask one question. Why should any world leader, no world leader in the world follows trolls? We have a prime minister. I ask this as a citizen. He's my prime minister. Why does Narendra Modi follow trolls? People who make rape threats and death threats. I have got no answers. He has meet and greets with them in 7 hours here. Why?
And let me ask Rajneel that. Isn't that a valid point? Because there are some 20 to 25 handles that the Prime Minister is following who are extremely abusive and rabid. When it comes to anything that is said that is critical of
death threats.
I mean, they are very
rabid
handles. Why should he be following them?
Let me answer that in 2 ways. The first thing is, just because someone has an opposing view from what you have, that person doesn't automatically become a troll.
Agreed.
Which has become a fashion from the other side to label them as trolls. I'm glad she's written a book called I Am a Troll, because certain parts of it can be autobiographical as well. If you pan into my screen on the iPad, I'm happy to show you certain tweets that Swati has made where she's used foul language, where she's ganged up with people to take on the right wing. And there are women on the right wing as well who received a lot of death threats, a lot of abuse. It doesn't get as widely condemned as when Swati receives it, but no one from this side steps up to support them either. Let me point out one instance. A couple of weeks back, from the Startup India handle, certain things were retweeted where Swati made an observation. The next day, action was taken. Are you telling me that this is a party and a government which is supporting this kind of activity? No, if that was the case, no action would be taken.
Why is the Prime Minister following abusive Twitter handles?
The Prime Minister is not following certain abusive Twitter handles.
It's
easy
to say
that
more than 20 of them.
Me? I've got
we have the graphic as well.
Look, man, I'm giving you an answer. I started following today tomorrow you are doing something, I should go on Twitter account, I should delete you. Look, these are not the
Why should he meet them? Why should he meet them? Isn't it? Don't you encourage people like this by meeting them?
These are kind of anti-moral. Have you followed how many people Rahul Gandhi follows? Sitaram Yechuri follows?
I have, Rakesh,
no.
I have.
What I say.
I actually have.
Let me ask Swati to respond to that. Before I come to Sanjay. Let her respond. What Rajneel is also saying, Swati,
look, you are a journalist.
when it comes to abuse, he's saying you have used abusive language as well against the other side on Twitter. So they are calling you, they call you a troll from the other side.
I don't think that, first of all, I'm the Prime Minister of India. Second of all, if I'm trolled in a hyena pack and I have used some cuss words, it amounts to communal incitement or a death threat or a rape threat. My question is still, not just as a journalist, as a citizen, why should my Prime Minister follow handles which tweet death threats, rape threats? In one instance, Nidhi, one handle was suspended by Twitter. One minister actually ran a campaign to get that handle back. All these people went to 7RCR and had a meet and greet with the Prime Minister. Why should the Prime Minister of India meet these people at his official residence? Why don't I get any answers for this?
That's a question I asked as well. Sanjay Hegde, when you look at what Swati has written though, what has really stood out from you in this book, and particularly what Sadhvi Khosla has talked about as a former member of the team, about the organized way in which she claims all of this is done, hit list prepared, and so on. Rajneel here, who's also a part of the social media team and of I Support Narendra Modi, says he hasn't experienced that. What surprised you or stood out for you in these revelations so far?
Well, I was not surprised, because what Swati has written is something that all of us have faced from time to time. We know that if we say anything about the Prime Minister, we know which handles come against us, which handles tag the other, and it is organized in mob fashion. After all, the Prime Minister calls them his cyber yodhas.
Correct.
The Prime Minister receives them at his official residence, and there is that air of arrogance that you can do nothing, that we will shut you down, we will shout you down, and nobody dare protest. There are a few of us who stand out and reply to them, but there is definitely a problem, and it's not only Indians who have noticed it. There have been international handles who have noticed that the moment they speak anything about the Hindu right, that they are barraged by a huge deluge of abuse. Well, I frankly think that it is time for the ruling party of India to consider where they put the image of India in the international cyberspace. Because worldwide, if you are being seen as somebody who organizes troll armies and shuts down free speech, that is not a good reputation to have for a country, let alone for a Prime Minister or for a ruling party.
Well,